Hello, brothers.
Hello, brother.
Hello, bro.
Happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day.
Awesome.
Happy podcast
Happy
day
podcast.
to you.
Yeah, that's really original, Wade.
Are you a musician?
Well, let me tell
Clearly
you.
not a singer.
Let me tell you.
Anyway, listen, it's my topic today, and I don't really have a good short term for what it is called, but ultimately my topic is, what are some things that you used to love to do when you were younger that you hate to do now? So I'm gonna have to find a way to shorten that for a title, but ultimately that's what it is. So thinking about things that you used to always do, and I'm not going to give you examples right now because I'm going to probably use
Or
some
things
of
that didn't bug you when you were younger, but now
yeah,
they
maybe
bug,
they didn't
now
bother
bug
you, but now that you're getting older, they really bug you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed doing it before, but not now.
Yes.
So not just things, but things you actually did.
Well, it could be. I mean,
Could be things?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be. I mean, we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
All right.
Let's jump in.
Do it. Okay. So, anyways, as I was saying, things that you used to do that you don't like to do now, and I can certainly number one thing for me is waiting. So when I say waiting, I think about, a big lineup at a restaurant that's just opening up, or maybe going to a bar, and you wouldn't hesitate as a teenager or something to get in line. I think you've alluded to it before, Wade, about standing in line for an hour somewhere to go into a bar.
Yeah.
And now if I drive by and there's three people in front of me, I'm like looking for another bar.
Well, yeah. I think when
I
I
don't go
was
to bars, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, when I was like 19, early 20s, we would go to O'Toole's bar in London, and I'd wait 2 hours in the line in the middle of winter, no coat on because you didn't want to check your coat, or there was no coat check.
Yeah.
You're freezing, but you did it just to get in the bar and then have a freezing cold beer.
Why?
Why? I would never do that today. When I wouldn't even want to go to a bar today.
Well, I was just going to say that's probably waiting in line is one thing, but going to bars is something completely
Yeah,
different.
no thanks.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, that's kind of part two for me, but I would say that would be another thing that I'm not into now, which is getting drunk. I mean, you used to enjoy, hypothetically, going out on a Friday night and consuming a bunch of beers and having a glow and dancing and being an idiot. And now I can't hardly make it through.
Now you're just an idiot.
That's right, without the wine.
No, but I think it's different though. I think maybe you used to get drunk more often when you were younger. Like I think now you still enjoy tying one on every once in a while at the cottage or something.
mean,
You're like, oh, this is kind of fun.
It's a rarity, but usually if I tie one on, as you put it, it's I don't want to
Occasion
say
based.
it's almost a happy accident. Like I haven't drank for the purpose of getting drunk. I couldn't tell you. Well, I know actually when it was a wedding at a New Year's Eve about 20 years ago. But
the last time you drank?
that's the last time that I drank
And got drunk?
Purposely
to
did it.
purposely get drunk. Yes, probably.
Yeah, it's the way you are now. You'll have a couple, say, Creemore,
Sure.
and you're like, these are going down really nicely. And then you're like, I'm gonna have some more.
Yes.
Because there's times that you can drink, and you're like, I don't feel a thing, and why am I doing this? And other times you're like,
Yeah, these are going down good.
These are
And next
going
thing you know,
down
You get
really
a buzz
good.
and you're like,
Yeah.
woo!
yeah,
Well, like you said, if I'm at the cottage and I'm having some rum and cokes about the bam or bonfire, I'm
are you having rum and cokes now?
But if I'm doing that,
Yeah.
and they're going down good, and you're just sitting having nice conversation,
Yeah.
I may have a few more and get a little bit of a glow on, but that's not because
That's
I'm
the
trying to do it.
that's the happy accident.
That's the happy accident. Yeah,
So
exactly.
you have a lot of happy accidents at the cottage? do
No,
you?
Chad's always happy.
I just
Monday,
accident.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah,
So what you don't do anymore is you don't drink to purposely get drunk.
yeah. That would definitely be one that
Right.
I don't do anymore, and because I'm not standing in line for the bar either, I
Right.
guess I don't have to worry about that.
I'd say my life is a happy accident then now.
Why is that?
I think I don't try to get drunk, but every once in a while it's like, wow, it's a happy accident.
Yeah. Yeah. If it
I got a
happens,
glow
it,
going.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. But I'm like you. I think when I was younger, you kind of lived to party, and that's, I guess you got less responsibilities. And so now you've got a lot more. And so I think you tend not to go to those extremes. I haven't learned that lesson yet. I'm still.
Oh no, you have. Like God, when you were younger, it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the bars, and you would get up and go to work the next morning at 7 a.m. on no sleep and be quite fine, and do it again the next night.
Yeah,
And now you do it Friday and you're still hungover on Monday. You're
Right.
like,
Yeah,
you have
not
that's
worth
something
it.
else I'm not going to do is get drunk and stay up until all hours of the night and then go to work the next day.
No, not happening.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have one beer and you're hungover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even think of you brought up a good point here, which is when I was younger, I wouldn't even think twice about pulling an all nighter.
Oh,
I did it many times.
Me
Right.
too. I went to work like that
Yeah.
many times. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, oh well, like you just dealt with it.
I'll sleep
Now,
later. Yeah.
I could like I'm not going to mention a name, but I've got a gentleman that I work with who obviously is a lot younger than I am, but has done that multiple times. Has been at the casino, and then is there all night,
And then just comes into work.
and then goes home, showers, and changes clothes and comes into work. And it's like, I'm on an all nighter. I was on the heater at the casino, and I'm just saying to myself, like, how are you doing that? But not only does he do it, the next day he works all day long, and then he went to the casino again and pulled another all nighter.
No
Come
way.
on.
Yeah,
No way.
Like 48 hours, like solid, no sleep.
No, that's
See, how does he even function?
I have no idea.
yeah. That doesn't seem possible.
I couldn't even do the first all nighter, not let
Is
alone
he,
the second.
is he actually working at work is the question.
Well, he's doing coke in the bathroom, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that would be another thing that I don't like now that I use
Coke?
No, not Coke. God, that was a good one.
That was a good
No,
segue.
actually, just sleep
Yeah.
in general. Like,
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I value my sleep too much. So the idea of staying up just for the sake of saying I stayed up, I mean, New Year's around here is pretty lame because at about 9 o'clock, I'm like, well, are we going to stay up for this ball? Or
I was
what?
just going to say one thing Chad doesn't do is stay up past 9 anymore.
So it's tough.
Yeah. I think, I know we've mentioned this before, but I hate what I used to do before, and now I hate doing it is Halloween, giving out Halloween candy. And obviously, as a kid, we loved Halloween. As an adult, not so much.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't bother me that much to hand out the candy. I don't like the excuse for having Halloween in general. I don't know why we have to have it, frankly. The candy thing doesn't bother me too much. Actually, you know what bothers me about it is the kids that seem like they're 16 and they're still coming to the door.
With no costume,
exactly.
they're just like, hey,
Well, that was
exactly.
hey, happy Halloween. Hey,
Exactly.
trick or treat.
That bothers me the most about
well,
Halloween.
that was what you did.
Well, no, I did not.
Sure, you did.
What?
You were the kid with the pillowcase instead of a little bag
That's
for your.
bullshit.
It
I
is
never
not.
did that. I
Do you
never
not
did
recall Chad having a
I did.
pillowcase?
I think he had one of the, like just those plastic masks you just pull down on your face, and then you
100%.
just put it up
Yeah, no,
100%.
I had that.
with no costume except just a mask.
No, I had that. I think it was like a Mexican face
It
or
was.
something.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
With a cigar
Exactly.
or something.
It was.
And I would wear that. But I didn't do that when I was 15 and 16.
You're right. You're 18.
Oh, God. That's not true.
Hey, how's it going?
I think you did.
No, I did not.
You were 16. I think you were
No,
doing. You were doing
I
it.
did not.
Definitely old.
No. Anyways, I don't like those kids that come that are clearly way too old to be doing Halloween. And they're always the ones that come at like 8 when you're trying to close the door and get done with it. That bugs me.
Let me ask you this: do you guys like to stand at a concert now that you're older?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
It's like give me a comfy seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be like the floor pit guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to get as close as you can for a concert, and then I think as you get older and your body starts aging, you're like, I take comfort over being that close to some musician or something like that. But I did very recently. I saw the Marley Brothers.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
And we got floor seats, and I was right at the rail, and stood
And you
there.
stood the whole time.
Yeah, and I did not realize, or I forgot how.
That you're old.
Well, that was one, and I clearly have to admit that I'm old. But number two was, I got home that night and I was in agony. I woke up the next day and I felt like I had done a huge workout, and I'm like, I just stood.
Your
I
hips
stood
are
at
your hips are
concert.
like screaming.
Tina was like rubbing Ben Gay into your
No,
joints.
honestly, it was like so. I'm like, what? I didn't even do it. I just stood there, like I was dancing around, but I don't know. I guess I haven't just stood at a concert
Yeah.
for that long. And I used to stand at trade shows and my old jobs selling stuff, and it never fazed me. But now, yeah.
So what about driving? And when you were younger, you probably didn't mind driving, like driving long distances. Is it
I
different?
still
Is
don't
it
mind
different now as you get older?
I like driving.
Yeah. Well, you're not driving. That's the problem.
true.
Your car's doing all the work.
Yeah. I mean, you're driving to the cottage every weekend, Chad. That's
Yeah.
that's an hour and 20, hours 40.
Hour and 30, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I have an issue with driving necessarily. What I don't like now that I could deal with when I was younger was traffic. When I have to sit in a huge line
Oh yeah.
and wait because for whatever reason we're backed up 2 sets of lights, I have very low tolerance, it seems, for that. Now, I don't know if I liked that when I was younger, so maybe that's not really the question we were asking, but
Maybe you probably just had more tolerance for it.
probably.
Didn't seem to bug you.
Yeah. Way more patience.
But if you recall growing up, though, like when we first learned to drive, or we were, I don't know, we were 14. Do you remember we would ask Dad?
You were driving at 14?
No. Let me finish. We would ask Dad for a ride someplace, and he'd be
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
okay. And I remember thinking at the time, how can you not like driving? Like, it is the best thing in the world. How can you not like driving? I hope I never get that way. But sure enough, you get older and your kids want to ride somewhere. You're like, I just don't want to do it. It's funny how that changes.
Cool.
So here's one thing I can say. When I was younger, I never used to care where I sat in a car. Being a passenger, driver didn't matter to me.
Okay.
Hey, let's go road trip.
That's probably because you didn't have a driver's license, maybe, at the time.
No, I did. But I didn't really put too much emphasis. I didn't care. Now, if I'm going on a road trip, I want to be the driver. I do not like being a passenger if we're going on a road trip.
It doesn't matter who's driving.
No, I prefer to just be driving. If I'm going to be in a car driving, I want to be the guy driving, not sitting back.
Yeah, I'm probably the same.
Yeah. And God forbid in the back seat. I can handle being in the front seat passenger side.
So you go a little squirrely if you're in the back seat?
Oh my God. Hate it.
Is it because there's nothing to do? You're just kind of bored?
You know what it is? I equate it to like a middle seat on an airplane. You're stuck there and I've got like the driver's seat or the passenger seat right here. And I'm just like, I just feel like I'm one of those guys on a plane that doesn't bring a phone, is just staring at the seat in front like a psycho. And I don't know.
Is it a control thing? You'd rather be the one in control?
I don't even know. Maybe. I just think it's sitting in a car is boring unless you're driving.
Yeah. Agreed. But again, just Chad said you're not driving now. Car's driving
No, but
for
I
you.
still
You're
feel
still
like
but you're still in the cockpit, control center,
Exactly.
situation.
The
right?
control center.
Well,
but it's true.
That's kind of what in his Tesla, that is kind of the deal.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
You're just monitoring
What are
systems.
you
more than
doing,
driving.
Dave?
monitoring systems. Yes, I'm just monitoring systems right now.
Yeah. But it's true. Whereas before I never used to care. I just pile in the car. I didn't care where I sat. Obviously I would yell shotgun if I could, but
I think similarly you would say like on a plane. So when I was younger, I liked to be in the window seat. Now I want the aisle. I realize that I really want to be able to stretch my legs out.
Yeah, it's
well,
because
you want to be able to get out when you want to get out.
Yeah. And not have to crawl over.
right.
Yeah.
it's because your prostate is the size of a watermelon now, so you need to get up and pee.
Are you looking in a mirror when you say
I am
that?
looking in the
Yeah,
mirror.
I think it is.
I'm talking about myself.
Okay, prostate Pete over there.
I can fully admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a race to see who can pee first. Wade loses.
What? First to the bathroom?
No, first to pee. To completion.
Oh, yeah, to completion. Not stopping and
That's one
starting.
thing I used to love to do as a kid is go to the washroom, but not so much anymore.
Now you don't like it?
Now it takes me 3 hours.
Every time you talk about that, I think of like Sebastian Maniscalco when he's talking about his dad. Oh, geez, that's come on, geez, you know,
I saw that one.
I don't think I know what that is.
Oh my God,
no,
it's so
the
funny.
comedian?
He's a comedian?
Oh, he's great.
We'll put the link on this episode.
Okay.
It's actually hilarious. He's there hearing his dad trying to.
Yeah.
They're both in the bathroom together, and his dad is trying to get it going.
Come on, Jesus.
I want to go back to the concert thing for a second because I don't think you touched on this. What before you were talking about standing and stuff, and that's fine. You're standing there, you got your arm, doing the thing. What pisses me off now, and I can't stand it, is it's because now it's like $250. It seems like to go to a concert, and you go there, and there's only one person standing in the whole place, and it's the person right in front of you. And I'm like,
And he's got the biggest head.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to stand like
When you have a seat.
yeah, it's right. Yeah. If it's a good show, you might stand up and applaud at some point or whatever. But generally speaking, I can enjoy that music really good sitting
down. I agree.
Yeah.
But when you were younger, you'd
Yeah.
probably stand right up and be like, yeah, party, this is awesome.
Right.
You wouldn't care.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
You'd
I
be
used to
dancing
enjoy
around.
being, you used to enjoy being part of that when you were younger, just up and dancing, shaking with the person, whoever's beside you. Now I'm like, sit the F down. Like I paid good money for this seat.
So it's funny you say that. We were at a concert recently where, and I'm like you, I would prefer to sit if I have a seat. If I wanted to stand, I'd be on the floors, obviously. But certain songs come on, people stand up. And so like, yeah, I'll do that too. But it's so weird when you're like, okay, that song's done. I don't really know this song or it's not my favorite. So you sit down, but everyone still around you is standing.
Yes.
You feel so strange sitting in your seat like a little kid. Everyone is, you're just looking at everyone's like backs and
Yep.
it almost forces you to stand. But I was at a concert and, there was a pretty popular song. So everyone's, standing. And so I'm standing. It's almost like as the people start standing in front of you, then you have to stand.
You have to, yeah.
And you kind of pay it backwards to the people there that make them stand. But there were people behind us that actually told us to sit down
Sorry,
at a
this was
concert.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, can you sit down,
I
please?
probably said to somebody in front of me, sir, would you mind just sitting down?
And I'm just
Lily?"
like, well, I'm not going to sit down because everyone else is standing. Like this, it was like a ridiculous comment.
Yeah, listen, if everyone else is standing, then I guess it doesn't matter. But I
Right.
mean, if everybody was sitting, I went to see Van Halen in Toronto, and everybody in my section was sitting except for the girl and her boyfriend right in front of us, directly in front of us, the entire time. I was pissed.
But why?
Like
But
the
why
only
do you-
people in our section. Like,
okay, but they pay for that seat and they want to stand because
yeah,
they're
well, you shouldn't have paid for a seat if you want to stand. What do you need a seat for?
So you're the guy that says, "Can you please sit down?"
Was it you at that concert? Were you the one telling me to sit down?
Well, I know it's a shocker, but I'm not a tall man. So when I go to a concert, if it's a standing concert, I can't see a bloody thing because everyone's standing in front of me, and it frustrates me. So this is a bit of a different kind of one, but it's about things that we were okay with as a child, but not so much now.
Sure.
I don't like crowds now. I don't know about you guys. Crowds bug me. If
Well,
I go
what-
someplace,
what do you mean? Just like you're in a busy department store, like that kind of crowd, or what are you talking about?
well, like if I can't get from point A to point B without rubbing shoulders with every single person, like I hate it. It's just like, get out of my way.
Yeah,
I just don't
like
like-
at a big concert, everyone's trying to
Oh,
leave.
God.
And you're in
that's-
this cattle call, and it's just like,
I hate it.
yeah,
I will honestly, at a big show, I will probably leave as they're doing the last
oh, you're
song.
that guy.
Oh, I'll leave
Oh,
before
yeah.
the last song.
Yeah, if
my
I think
God.
no,
100%.
listen, if they're doing the encore and they do 3-4 songs, I'm like, yeah, that'll be the last one. I'm starting to walk toward the exit as they're finishing the song, so I don't have to do
I
that.
can't believe you just admitted that.
Why? What's wrong with that? I stay and listen to the song.
You always do the bitter end.
No, I stay and listen to the song, but I'm just getting myself close to the exit so that when the song's over, I'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen people like leave. You go to a hockey game or something, and people are leaving maybe
Third
through the
period,
third period
yeah.
because and I'm like, what do you paid all this money to watch?
Yeah,
a
it's like a
game?
Blue Jay game. I'm leaving in the 8th inning. It's like,
Blue Jay game. I'm leaving in the first.
Well,
inning.
yeah.
But I'm
yeah.
not leaving at the end of the first set of the band. I'm just saying, if I know that it's encore and they're almost done, then yeah,
Yes,
I don't want to battle everybody.
Yeah, I'm the guy that I wouldn't do that. I would be the guy that would then just sit in my seat. Let everyone like wait 5 minutes.
Which is surprising to me because you're not generally patient. You don't like waiting for anything. I'm surprised you would do that.
But I also don't like, I'm like, wait, I don't want to be in a crowd in a sea of people where I just feel like, oh my God, get out of my way. I want to start just like being the George Costanza running, because there's a
but
fire.
see, if you did what I do, then you would be at the front of the line.
But I don't want
So
to
you
do that
wouldn't have
because I
worry
feel
about
like I'm shortchanging myself for the experience that I'm leaving early and I'm not seeing the full, performance that I paid for. Rather than do that, I would just choose to sit in the seat.
so here's something that's different as you get older. When I was younger, I would go to an all-inclusive, and if there was a ton of people there partying, I would be like, this is amazing. Now I'm like, can I find a quiet resort with not a lot of people so I can just kind of chill?
And I don't want all inclusive. I don't want buffet.
Yeah, it's called
Right.
Storybook Gardens, Wade.
I'd rather pay.
Gardens.
I'd rather pay more money
Yeah.
and just eat a la carte when I want to eat, and not be forced to eat shitty buffet food.
Like when we went to Costa Rica, it was a smaller resort, so it wasn't crowded. Like you never felt super crowded. Only a couple of times in the one pool that was farther down by the ocean, it was crowded, and we avoided it because it was too crowded, and because they're peeing in it
That's
all
an
the
interesting one. I would bet for all three of us that we would all say, like, I used to love going to a buffet younger.
time. I don't like buffets
I
anymore.
don't like it as much now. I will still go on occasion, but I haven't been for a long time.
No,
But
I went to
don't
the
like that.
Mandarin recently, and I was like, oh my God, I hate this place. Like I do
Was
not.
it?
I don't like it.
What was so bad about it?
I don't like buffets. I don't like
Yeah,
lining up with people and everyone's touching the same utensils, and I don't know. It's just like, yeah.
And is that just? Did you like them before though, when you were younger?
It just probably
I
never,
used to.
probably never
you
thought about
probably
it.
thought about the fact that everybody was touching the utensils and everything.
Well, and I think it's just shit food, right?
Yeah.
It's not the best food.
I think when you're younger, it's just like I can eat everything, anything I want.
Right.
Yeah.
I can get ice cream first, or I can get pie for
And
my second course.
probably somebody else was paying too, which was the attraction to you just eating as much as you
Well,
wanted.
but the other thing was we could eat a lot of food, and I don't know about you, but I can't get my money's worth now at a buffet. I don't
No.
eat that much food, so it's last time I went to Mandarin, it was like $39 a person.
Quality over quantity for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Although I'll admit, like, you don't like 168 sushi.
I've been there.
You don't like it though, because it's not really your type of food. Like to me, that's not buffet. They're bringing you out fresh made
No,
stuff.
I like that stuff. I just haven't. I've only been the one time, but
Oh, really?
But I like it. Yeah.
I quite like that, but it is hard to get your money's worth though, because you get full off of all the
Yeah.
tempura and all that crap. Do you find that now that you're older, you are more conscious of, are you getting value in what you just ordered, or do you care? As long as it tastes good, you probably just say, Spence, if it tastes good, that whatever, I don't care what it costs. But do you look at the menu and just think, that's probably not enough food. It's for $40. It's not going to fill me up.
Oh, I definitely look at value. I mean, I've said this before. If I can make the same thing at home and I think it's better tasting than what I'm going to buy, I get irritated when I pay money for it. If I can make it better at home.
Well, that's the problem now. They slap it together, and you're paying a lot of money for somebody that is, to use a previous product, being mediocre. Okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't really look at the value when I'm going out for a dinner. Like I'm not trying to get the value meal.
No, I don't mean like
no.
I'm not going to order something that I don't really want because it's cheap.
Right.
No, you want to get good value for your money, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if you're going to
do.
pay $500 for a steak, it better be a good steak.
Oh, for sure. No,
Yeah,
no,
right.
no question.
Right.
But I'm not going to get like, well, I'm not going to get that Wagyu. I'll just get the Canadian AA for, $40 because it's a, bigger steak. And
No, that's what I would do.
I was just going to say, Wade, you would 100% do that.
and you would get the cheaper one.
The what? The cheaper than that one? I'm getting the one that they marinated at the store for 2 days.
Yeah.
but that's just, I don't know. I look at it like, I'm like you. A big pet peeve of mine is if I go to a restaurant and I can cook the food better than what I just
Yes.
ordered, then I'm just like, well, why am I paying
Why
for
did I
this?
come out here?
Why did I come
Yeah.
out for dinner? I want it to be an occasion and I want to feel like I like the food that I'm eating. And I'm less about the cost of the food. It's more about I want to
Probably that's changed because when we were younger, we couldn't afford to eat out as much, and it was I think we talked about it before that it was an experience. And now it's commonplace. You're going out all the time, no big deal. So if you do go out, you're expecting that little extra value or that something to make it worth your while.
But that is the difference between being younger and being older. You don't like being younger. You go to McDonald's and it'd be quite fine with that. Like it wouldn't bother you. Now I'm like, I'm not having McDonald's.
It's a brick.
If I'm going to pay money, I'm not having McDonald's. I want good quality food because I'm paying for it.
It's almost $20 anyways, as it is to get like
It is.
a combo or something. It's getting close.
Yeah.
Here's something funny that I know all of us can relate to, which is when we were younger, we would always choose a standard car. We would never buy an automatic.
Oh, 100%. That's a good
Actually,
one.
that is true.
Right? And now I guarantee you all of us would be like, yeah, I'm not buying a standard.
No, see, you know what? I would buy a standard, but it would have to be a performance car that I would just so there would be in some enjoyment of driving it.
But you would have to have a second vehicle that was an automatic.
Yeah, maybe,
You would hate
maybe.
it.
100%.
Trust me.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm like you. If I'm on a sports car, I want it to be a standard.
yeah.
And I've had standard cars that were sports cars, and I quickly realized I do not. The
Do they?
Yeah, that is interesting.
It is interesting. Well, it's about convenience and comfort. But do they even make standard electric vehicles?
no, there's
They
only
can't.
one. There's only one gear.
You can actually hardly buy a standard at all.
It is hard to
in any
find.
car,
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
anymore.
They're getting very rare because again, the resale market is just not there, right?
Right.
But in saying that, I'm
That's
like
so-
you.
That's so
Just-
funty because
Just wait. This is the second time you interrupted me. Okay, so
sorry.
stop it. But I don't even know how to say this the right way.
Well, that's why he's interrupting you
I
because
know.
you can't get your words out.
No, but I had it and then he threw my mind off. But I will always choose a standard in a high performance car. But there's got to be a trade off because it can't be an everyday driver. Because when you
Right.
get into traffic,
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
care how great that sports car is.
I agree.
You want to get a gun in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Yeah, when you're pushing that clutch in
Oh my God.
constantly,
Yeah.
it's awful.
That's the only reason I will never, unless like you say, it would be a a second car that I just drive out when I want to get that thrill of, whipping through the gears, then sure, give me a car for that.
I do agree with you.
But not a daily driver. No way.
I wouldn't have thought that would have been something that I would said I don't like as a grown person. But now that you're saying it, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Now, if I was living in Italy and there was no traffic and it's countryside and twisty roads,
You'd want to do
I'm
that.
getting a standard. But in North America and Toronto with the traffic, it's just, there's no way.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Well, here's one that I love doing as a kid that I'm going to say I don't think I'd love doing now because I really haven't done it lately.
Masturbating?
No, I still love doing that. No, what I was going to say. Oh my God, that's brutal. I was going to say tobogganing, actually.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because as a kid, you just you could go up and down that hill for hours. I haven't been for quite a few years, but I do like tobogganing, but I think that I don't think I would like it now because I think I would be awfully winded after the first time up the hill, and that would be it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's about you would refuse to do it now or you wouldn't want to do it now. I think you'd still want to do it because you like it. And I used to like it too. But we could walk up and down the hill and be quite fine. But now it's like you do it once, you're like,
Well, aside from being winded, I think I would just be like, I don't need to do any more of that.
yeah.
I don't think it's worth the effort. When
Right.
you're younger, you have like a
To get
5
that
second
10
ride
second
down
ride, yeah.
for another 10-minute walk back up the hill.
Yeah, it's true.
I think when you get older, you start looking at the risk and reward, or the reward and the effort you're putting through, and you're
Heart
like, no.
attack or a ramp? Yeah, which one do I want? Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it.
Did you take I love taking the kids toboggan when they were young. I didn't mind that at all, but
Yeah, but
it would be hard now.
But here's the thing, though. When they were young and you were an adult, you were carrying up the toboggan and you were holding on to their hands to help them get up the hill.
The other thing I think that changes as you get older is just, I don't know about you guys, can you handle the heat as much as you could when you were younger? Or do you like it as much?
I feel like I run hot most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't like being hot. I guess you know what? Probably like I would enjoy going to a resort, younger, where I could just bake in the sun all day. Whereas now I'm getting an umbrella and going in the shade.
Well, I don't do that. I still like to be in the sun. But I think about when I used to work at Brescia College in landscaping and even doing the pool installs. I would work in the blazing sun all summer, every day, 34 degrees. The more humid it was and hotter it was, I was like, the happier I was. Give me a shovel and a rake. Let me work outside in the heat. I absolutely loved it to be that hot and sweaty. Now, not so much.
It's the opposite. I don't mind the heat. I love it when it's like those hot, humid summer days where you go outside at like 10 or 11 at night and it's still...
I love that. I love nighttime when it's hot.
I think that's what's changed for me. I can't do the humidity. I don't mind the heat. But
See, I'm okay with that.
No, I liked humidity as a kid. Like, it's so hot. Now I don't like it. It's just sweaty and gross.
Yeah. The only caveat for me is I love the heat, but only if I am able to dress how I want to dress in the heat.
Oh, being in a suit in the heat?
Right. If I got to go to a wedding and it's like 35 degrees,
that's
and
what I mean. You can't
baking,
tolerate it.
and you can feel the sun just baking my back. I just but if I was in shorts and a tank top, like, hey man,
when you're in a suit and you can feel the bead of sweat going down your back,
right.
like, oh God, it's an awful feeling. But when you were younger, you were much more tolerable with that.
I would agree.
I think tolerance in general, as you get older, that's probably the one thing that you have less of in general.
I think so. You don't tolerate stupidity, patience. Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But apparently we have run out of things that we don't like to do now that we're older.
Yeah, because as you get older, you forget. You forget the things that you used to like.
That's one of the things that as I get older, I don't like that I forget stuff more. That's what it is. But anyways.
I like it. I think that was a good topic.
Well, thank you for letting me choose it and for going along for the ride.
I don't think we had a choice in you choosing it. You just kind of threw it on us.
I did throw it. It was my choice. That's the beauty of being your decision is you can just do it. So
apparently,
so I did it, and I'm happy with it.
Well, way to go!
That's one thing I used to like when I was younger, but now I don't like that anymore.
What's that?
That you impose that your will.
Ironically, I actually like it.
Did we ever like it when he imposed it?
No.
Well, that's what happens when you're the firstborn. You get to make all the rules, right?
Until the last-born decides things need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he hits you in the back with a stool and it starts over.
Chad, let it go.
Anyways.
Okay.
On
See you,
that
Wade.
note,
See you, Wade.
See you, Chad.
See you, Spence.
See you, Spence.
later.
Bye, John Boy.
Ciao.